Amidst the hybrid SUV blast, each customary size portion has turned out to be immersed. Thus, automakers are starting to fill the holes that different classes, giving us some fascinating in-the-middle of choices. The all-new 2018 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross bounces directly into one of those in-the-middle of classifications bookended by minimal and subcompact hybrids. It's a specialty that offers more space and highlight content than the littlest vehicles, with an additional measurement of style and a lower cost than greater ones. In light of the Eclipse Cross in the middle of nature, however, there's not by any stretch of the imagination a conspicuous direct contender. All things considered, we've chosen an assorted gathering of little hybrids that are like the Eclipse Cross in a few, however not every key territory: estimate, value, highlight, substance, style and likely purchasers. The 2018 Subaru Crosstrek, 2018 Toyota CHR and 2018 Nissan Rogue Sport each have components in like manner, yet are sufficiently distinctive to give helpful purposes of examination. A graph of particulars and key standard highlights is demonstrated as follows, trailed by additional inside and out examination. Furthermore, on the off chance that you wish to contrast these hybrids and others not recorded, make sure to look at our correlation instruments. Motors and drivetrains. One of the Eclipse Cross' greatest favorable circumstances in this section will be its motor. Subcompact hybrids, including the other three we've picked, are drowsy without a doubt. This new Mitsubishi ought to be distinctive as it packs a turbocharged 1.5-liter 4-barrel that belts out an incredible 184 pound-feet of torque. We say walloping, on the grounds that the CHR, Crosstrek and Rogue Sport all have in the vicinity of 139 and 147 pound-feet. Drive is likewise unremarkable at only 152 strength, the same as the Crosstrek, yet that torque should make passing and entrance ramp runs substantially more fulfilling. The interest of hybrids for some individuals is the accessibility of all-wheel drive, and this is the place the Subaru gets leverage. Like with all Subarus that aren't a BRZ, the Crosstrek has standard all-wheel drive. The Mitsubishi approaches, making all-wheel drive standard on each trim level aside from the extremely base S trim level. On the Rogue Sport, all-wheel drive is a choice on every trim level. Contingent upon where you live, however, having the capacity to have front drive on a high-trim hybrid could be an or more, since it will spare some cash and enhance mileage. The CHR loses this fight as it's just accessible with front-wheel drive. Another zone in which the Crosstrek has favorable position is its standard manual transmission, which makes it more engaging for the individuals who jump at the chance to push their own. Each and every other vehicle here accompanies a CVT, as it were. Outside dimensions and interior space. Outwardly, the CHR is effectively the littlest and has minimal measure of ground leeway at 5.9 inches, that is just 0.2 in excess of a Camry. The Rogue Sport is around an inch or two bigger than the Toyota in most outside measurements, while the Eclipse Cross and Crosstrek are the biggest. They vary in tallness, however, with the Eclipse Cross overshadowing the rest at 67.1 crawls with front drive and 67.3 creeps with all-wheel drive. The Crosstrek in examination measures 63.6 creeps regardless of having the most ground leeway at 8.7 inches, not by any stretch of the imagination shocking as it seems to be, all things considered, an imprison on stilts. Barely any SUVs of any kind approach that, so it's amazing that the Eclipse Cross approaches at 8 creeps with front drive and 8.6 crawls with all-wheel drive. Truly, amongst this and its for the most part standard all-wheel drive, the Eclipse Cross joins the Crosstrek as extraordinary compared to other decisions in this size section for handling earth streets and profound snow. Obviously, as the littlest vehicle of the gathering, the CHR has minimal measure of freight space, particularly with the back seats collapsed. Its 19 cubic feet of room behind the back seats isn't off-track the other three, yet the 36.4 cubic feet with the seats down is insignificant when the following biggest limit, the Eclipse Cross, is 48.8 cubic feet. The load limit champ is the Rogue Sport. As we take note of, that limit shifts by trim because of a helpful freight administration framework included on upper trim levels that burglarizes some cubic feet. Efficiency. The Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross doesn't have efficiency numbers yet accessible, yet we can in any case look at the others here. The most economical of the pack is the CVT-prepared Subaru Crosstrek on account of its prevalent throughway mileage number, yet it gets a similar 29 mpg joint figure as the CHR. Note, nonetheless, that is with standard all-wheel drive, though the Toyota is front drive as it were. At the end of the day, Subaru still wins, well, unless you get the manual, in which case it loses big time at 25 mpg consolidated. The Rogue Sport, by correlation, gets 27 mpg joined with AWD and 28 with FWD. As per the EPA, that distinction would add up to amongst $50 and $100 in normal yearly fuel cost. Along these lines, very little. Standard features and pricing. Where these vehicles differ most is in valuing and standard gear, and they traverse the array from stripped down and ease, to pricier however extremely all-around prepared. Speaking to the no-frills viewpoint is the Nissan Rogue Sport. It has the least base cost of $22,615, however you won't get numerous top-notch highlights. It accompanies out-and-out steel wheels with plastic covers, a 5-inch infotainment screen without touch usefulness, and general benchmarks, for example, voyage control, a physically statured customizable driver's seat and Bluetooth. Also, as of now specified, a considerable amount of room while picking the base model. Yet, for pretty much $100 more, you can get a base model Crosstrek, which includes all-wheel drive and 17-inch compound wheels to the condition. Not just that, it gets a 6.5-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto similarity. It's the main vehicle in this gathering to offer that infotainment expansion as standard. It's significant that this base cost is for the manual transmission rendition. Including the CVT knocks the cost up $1,000, making the Nissan more engaging for spending plan disapproved of programmed fans. At the highest point of the value run is the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, which begins at $24,290. It accompanies 16-inch amalgam wheels, Bluetooth network, and a 7-inch touchscreen. It doesn't accompany CarPlay or Android Auto, or all-wheel drive so far as that is concerned. Be that as it may, it adds programmed atmosphere control and warmed side mirrors, in addition to the most grounded motor. The Toyota CHR begins generally $800, not exactly the Mitsubishi at $23,495. In any case, where it sparkles is in standard highlights. Its 18-inch amalgam wheels are the biggest of the group, which is a positive for style-cognizant purchasers, and possibly a drawback for pothole-substantial areas. It likewise treats the driver and traveler similarly, giving them both 6 approaches to physically alter their seats, and they each get their own zone of programmed atmosphere control. It accompanies a 7-inch touchscreen, yet it's a reseller's exchange-style unit as opposed to a full Toyota InTune touchscreen, and there's no real way to get CarPlay or Android Auto. The CHR additionally incorporates a cowhide guiding wheel, programmed high pillars, and versatile journey control. It even has extravagant security highlights, for example, programmed crisis braking and path flight help. So as long as you don't have to reflect your cell phone on the infotainment, and needn't bother with all-wheel drive, the CHR is difficult to beat in the component division.